I opened my eyes expecting to see the familiar crack above my bed, the one I kept meaning to repair. Instead, I was staring at a plain white ceiling with faint watermarks. A distant humming, fluorescent lighting. The walls around me were pale green, too clean, too quiet. A chill crept up my spine. The air smelled of antiseptic and overcooked mush. A hospital? No, something else. I tried to move. My limbs worked. My breath was steady. My mind felt normal. A woman in scrubs walked past the door. I swallowed and called, my voice dry and shaky. "Excuse me." She paused, stepped back, and looked in at me with a smile that felt rehearsed. "Mr. Patterson, you're awake. How are you feeling?" Where am I? My voice cracked unexpectedly, and I felt a sudden wave of panic. "Riverside Extended Care Facility," she said gently. "You've been here 3 days now." Flipping. 3 days. I sat up slowly. No dizziness, no real pain, just confusion building like steam in my chest. "There's been a mistake. I'm not supposed to be here." She touched my arm softly. "Your son Marcus signed the forms. He said you'd be disoriented at first." Disoriented? I let out a faint laugh, half disbelief, half fear. "I'm 65, not some senile old..." My voice faltered. Why can't I remember coming here? I had a dizzy spell 2 or 3 weeks ago. Marcus insisted I see a new doctor, not my usual one. The doctor prescribed something for blood pressure. I went home. That's the last clear memory. "I need to speak to Marcus," I said. She retrieved a simple flip phone, not mine. My palms sweat as she handed it over. I dialed. He answered briskly. "Dad, I'm in a meeting." "Why am I in a care facility?" Silence. A sigh. "Dad, you fell. You were confused. The doctor said you needed monitoring. We discussed this." "No, Marcus, we did not. I'm fine. I want to go home." "Dad, please, not now. We'll talk later." Click. I stared at the phone, feeling a tremor inside. I asked for my belongings. A nurse brought a small plastic bag, wallet, cheap wristwatch, my wedding ring. No glasses, no phone, no house keys. "Where's my phone?" I asked quietly. "Your son took it," she said calmly. "He said you kept calling people, saying odd things, scaring the neighbors." That hit me like a punch. I laughed sharply. Nerves. Odd things? I'm a retired aerospace engineer. I designed guidance systems that left Earth's atmosphere. I know what confusion looks like. Shield, she just smiled politely and left. 2 days passed. I pretended to comply, took their sedatives, observed everything. The place wasn't awful, clean, structured, but filled with people who needed to be there. People whose hands shook without reason, whose stories didn't connect, whose eyes chased memories they no longer owned. I didn't belong. Skyrocket. On the 3rd morning, my heart nearly burst when a voice whispered at the doorway, "Richard?" It was Helen, my neighbor. 70 years old, still sharper than most people in their 40s. Her expression was tight with anger and disbelief. "What on earth is happening?" she hissed. "Marcus showed up last week with a moving truck. Said you had a stroke and were moving in with him. Now I find out you're here?" I froze. "What truck?" "Richard, your house. It's empty. Furniture, photos, gone." All the air left my lungs. The house I built with my own hands after Sandra died, where I'd raised Marcus, the place that held 4 decades of memories. I tried to steady myself. "Helen, I need your help. Please, don't tell Marcus you were here." She nodded. "I'll be back tonight." That night, she returned with paper, a pen, and a laptop. "Before you ask," she smirked faintly, "yes, I know how to use it. My grandkids made sure." I typed in trembling silence, searching publicly available property records. Owner, Marcus Patterson. Sale date, 2 weeks ago. Sale price, $615,000. Admirement, no authorization, no memory of signing anything. "My God," I whispered. Helen placed her hand over mine gently. "We'll get to the bottom of this." I took a slow, shaky breath and felt something inside shift. He did this while I was sedated. Morning arrived with the metallic clatter of breakfast carts. I hadn't slept. My mind replayed Helen's words again and again, each time cutting deeper. "He emptied your house. He sold everything." I sat upright when footsteps entered my room. Marcus. He walked in wearing a tailored suit, looking businesslike, not like a son visiting his father. Beside him stood a woman I'd never seen, perfectly styled hair, flawless makeup, poised like she was walking into a negotiation. "Dad," Marcus said with a strained smile, "I want you to meet someone special. This is Vanessa, my fiancée." "Fiancée?" I echoed, my voice uneven. "You've never brought her around before." Vanessa stepped forward with a warm, rehearsed smile. "Mr. Patterson, I've heard so much about you. I'm deeply sorry for your condition. It must be so frightening." My heart thudded. "My condition?" She glanced at Marcus sympathetically. "The dementia." I almost laughed, but it came out choked, like I was swallowing glass. "I don't have dementia." Marcus sighed impatiently. "Dad, please, let's not do this." "Not do what?" My voice rose, a tremor sneaking in. "Tell the truth?" He stepped toward me, lowering his voice like I was a child having a tantrum. "You've been confused. You fell, called me 15 times one night claiming someone was trying to break into your house. You contacted the police saying your neighbor was spying on you. You left the stove on 3 times. The doctor warned me this would happen." "That's a lie," I snapped louder than I intended. A nurse peered in from the hallway. Vanessa gently touched Marcus's arm, whispering something that sounded like, "Let him tire himself out." I felt heat rushing to my face. "Marcus, did you sell my house?" He didn't look at me. "I did what was necessary. This facility costs $8,000 a month. You couldn't live alone anymore." "You told people I had a stroke," I said, barely recognizing my own voice. "You cleared out my home while I was drugged." "I didn't want to do it this way," Marcus muttered defensively. "But Vanessa said—" "She said what?" I demanded. Vanessa stepped in, her tone turning colder. "That sometimes, Mr. Patterson, family has to make tough decisions when an elderly parent refuses to accept reality." I let out a shaky laugh, then felt my voice wobble. "Refuses reality? You stole my life while I slept." Marcus clenched his jaw. "You signed the power of attorney before your episode." "I did not." My voice cracked. "I don't remember signing anything." "That's because of your memory loss," he countered. I stared at him through stinging eyes. My own child. "Marcus," I whispered, pain ripping through. "Do you honestly believe I'm incapable of living alone?" He avoided my gaze. "Dad, you're old. Things happen. You needed help." Sidewalks. "So, you made something happen?" I asked softly, the realization hitting me like a punch. Vanessa cleared her throat sweetly. "Mr. Patterson, fighting this won't bring your house back. It'll only make things harder. Let Marcus take care of you." I looked from her to Marcus. "Take care of me? You've already taken everything from me." For a moment, silence. Then I felt the tears come, not dramatic, just soft, defeated. I wiped them quickly. Valoring Vanessa tilted her head slightly, her voice like velvet hiding a blade. "He acted for your future." I looked at her and smiled weakly. "Then why do I feel like I've been buried alive?" Her smile disappeared. "I'm done being polite," I murmured. Slashing then, footsteps echoed down the hall. Helen stepped in, with her grandson Brad, a patient advocate. The temperature in the room changed instantly. Brad looked straight at Marcus and Vanessa. "Mr. Patterson will undergo an independent evaluation, immediately, and I'll be submitting a report for potential fraud investigation." Vanessa's eyes flickered with panic. "Brad, let's not escalate." "It's already escalated," I said softly, staring at my son. "You did that." Helen gently touched my shoulder. "We're getting you out of here, Richard." For the first time in days, I believed her. With if the people you love most are the ones who quietly destroy your life. The truth behind the doctor, the drugging, and the first spark of justice. Don't miss what happens when Richard finally fights back. 2 days later, they brought in the specialist. The facility staff were polite now, almost nervous. They avoided eye contact. I could sense that the rumors had begun swirling. A man placed here who didn't belong. A patient who might not be a patient at all. Dr. Patricia Wells entered my room with a calm presence. Late 50s, silver streaks in her hair, firm posture. She looked at me the way people look at a person, not a diagnosis. She greeted me softly. "Mr. Patterson, I'm here to evaluate your cognitive state. I understand you believe there has been a mistake." "Believe?" I said quietly. "I know there has." She nodded, pulled up a chair, and began. 3 hours of intense assessment, memory exercises, problem-solving tasks, psychological evaluations. At one point, she asked me to calculate orbital trajectories on scrap paper. I smiled. Finally, something familiar. Later, while I described the guidance system I helped develop for a space probe, she put down her pen and whispered, almost emotionally, "You really built that?" "Yes," I said, "and I remember every part of it." When she finished, she closed her notebook, exhaled hard, and looked at me for a long moment. "Mr. Patterson," she said gently, "you scored in the 95th percentile for cognitive ability in your age group." I laughed quietly in relief. Then the laughter slipped into trembling. I pressed my knuckles to my eyes. Thank God. "Mindfulness, I see no biological trace of dementia or significant impairment," she continued. "But," she paused. "But what?" I looked up. "You were given benzodiazepines," she said slowly, repeatedly, without informed consent, likely over several days. That would cause memory fog, confusion, and docility. Someone appears to have drugged you." My heartbeat thundered. "You're telling me I was chemically manipulated into compliance?" Communicator: "Yes, this was likely used to justify your admission here." I let out a sharp breath, not really laughter, more like disbelief. "Marcus did this to me." Her eyes softened. "Someone did. A doctor had to sign the paperwork." I clenched my jaw. "Dr. Patterson." "Not your regular physician?" she asked. "No, he just appeared." She nodded. I can testify, but you'll need legal assistance. Do you know someone who can take this on? She stood up. I'll make sure you meet the right person. That evening, Thomas Brennan walked into my room. Early 50s, lines under his eyes like he'd seen too many stories like mine. His handshake was firm, not sympathetic, respectful. I specialize in elder abuse and asset fraud, he said, taking a seat. Tell me everything, slowly. I spoke. For nearly 2 hours, all of it. The dizziness, the unfamiliar doctor, waking up here, the empty house, Marcus, Vanessa. At one point, my voice cracked, just briefly, as I whispered, "He's my only child." Brennan wrote something on his pad and replied softly, "And that is why this kind of crime hurts the most." He continued, "I'll be honest, Mr. Patterson. Cases like these are far more common than anyone realizes. Families think they know what's best, until money whispers otherwise." I stared at the wall. "Can we prove it?" "We already have evidence," Brennan replied. "The evaluation from Dr. Wells, the property records, and now we dig deeper. I'll arrange for emergency court action to have you released." I let out a trembling breath. She said I had no future, that I should let Marcus take care of me. He looked at me firmly. "Mr. Patterson, people like that count on silence." "I won't be silent anymore," I said, voice shaking but strong. Brennan gave a faint smile. "That's the first step." Outside, I saw Marcus waiting near the parking area, pacing, looking at his phone anxiously. He didn't see me watching. That night, I wrote down everything I remembered from the last month. Every detail, every odd look, every unexplained moment. I didn't sleep, but for the first time in weeks, I didn't feel powerless. I felt ready. What happens when a father walks into court to confront the very son who tried to erase his life? The courtroom battle, shocking confessions, and the moment truth hits like a storm. Don't stop now. The most explosive part is next. 3 days later, I walked, without assistance, into the county courthouse. The hallway smelled of polished floors and quiet tension. Helen walked beside me, and Brennan was just ahead. I could feel eyes on me, staff members from the facility who now understood I wasn't supposed to be there. Inside the courtroom, Marcus sat stiffly beside Vanessa. His suit was pressed, but he looked smaller somehow, like a boy wearing his father's clothes. Vanessa, composed as ever, had makeup so perfectly applied it looked painted on. Her eyes flicked to me, calculating. The judge entered, firm voice, no nonsense. Court is now in session. Marcus's lawyer, a polished young man with too much confidence and too little empathy, spoke first. He submitted the medical evaluation from Dr. Patterson, reporting my declining mental state, episodes of paranoia, hallucinations, and erratic behavior. The lawyer emphasized safety, setting a tone of father needing protection. Marcus walked to the stand. "My father's been struggling for months," he said softly. "He gets confused. He calls me late at night, terrified. He forgets important things. I was afraid he'd burn the house down or get lost. I didn't want to do this, but I had to. I love him." I looked at him, my son, and felt a knot in my throat. He almost sounded convincing. Almost. Brennan stood up. "Your Honor, permission to cross-examine." "Proceed." Brennan approached slowly. "Mr. Patterson, when exactly did your father sign the power of attorney granting you legal control?" "Ambiguity," Marcus replied. "And where was it signed?" "At my apartment." "Anyone present besides yourself?" "Vanessa," he said confidently. "She witnessed it." Brennan nodded. And when was this alleged fall your father experienced? September 20th, Marcus answered, glancing briefly at me. And you committed him to Riverside within a week, correct? Yes. Interesting. Now tell me, when did you sell your father's home? Prerequisite: October 1st. So, Brennan said clearly, within 2 weeks of this supposed medical emergency, you sold his home, without any public listing, for $615,000. That's correct, Marcus muttered. To whom? A real estate company, Marcus said quietly. The company being... Brennan paused, turning to face the courtroom. Palmer Properties Management, owned by your fiancée, Vanessa Palmer. The room shifted. Vanessa's jaw tensed. Did you acquire appraisal before sale? Brennan asked. No, Marcus whispered. Did you inform your father? He wasn't in condition to... Answer precisely. No, Marcus said. Brennan raised his voice. So you made a financial decision involving your father's home without his knowledge while he was sedated, and the buyer was directly linked to your fiancée. Is that correct? Marcus hesitated for too long. Yes. Whiskerspurs rippled through the room. Brennan continued. Your Honor, at this time the defense presents the independent psychiatric evaluation performed by Dr. Wells. Dr. Wells appeared via video call, calm, composed. She testified clearly. Mr. Patterson is cognitively sound, scoring in the 95th percentile. The records indicating dementia are incorrect. Blood tests reveal administration of benzodiazepines not prescribed to him. Furthermore, no medical basis existed for full-time care intervention. The judge adjusted her glasses, eyes narrowing. Then Brennan turned to Dr. Patterson, the doctor who had signed the false evaluation. Under oath, sweating visibly, he admitted Marcus had contacted him privately, that he signed based on Marcus's descriptions, that he had not conducted a full assessment, that he had been compensated in cash. Silence fell heavy. The judge spoke firmly. The court finds the documentation fraudulent. The power of attorney is void. Mr. Richard Patterson is to be released immediately. I am ordering a full criminal investigation. Marcus surged to his feet. Your Honor! Sit, she commanded. You were not protecting your father. You were exploiting him. Vanessa's expression cracked, her calm shattered. She whispered harshly to Marcus. You told me this would be easy. You said he was too weak, that he wouldn't fight. They didn't realize I could hear. I met Vanessa's eyes. You underestimated me, I said softly. She stared at me coldly. I'll fight. This. I'll drag this so long you'll be gone before it ends. I straightened gently. Maybe, but I won't be gone quietly. As the officers approached to escort them out for further questioning, Marcus turned to me, tears in his eyes. Dad, I was trying to help. I looked at him long, letting the pain surface. You forgot one thing, Marcus. What? He whispered. You help someone by standing beside them, not selling the floor out from under their feet. His lips trembled. They led him away. And the echo of that moment stayed with me, long after the door closed. When the battle ends, what remains of a broken family? The aftermath, the scars, and the question, can love survive betrayal? Stay with me for the emotional conclusion. Final blow, but in truth it was just the beginning of what came next. Marcus and Vanessa faced charges. The district attorney, a woman named Caroline Chen, met me the day after trial. Firm handshake, eyes that had seen too much pain in cases like mine. Mr. Patterson, she said, I don't like what I see more than I admit. Elder financial abuse is one of the fastest-growing crimes. People rarely fight back. You did. That matters. Marcus has agreed to testify against Vanessa in exchange for reduced sentencing, she explained. He'll face 2 years in prison, 5 years probation. He's surrendered his CPA license. No future authority over your assets. I didn't reply at first. Part of me wanted to feel relief. Instead, I felt empty. And Vanessa? I finally asked. She's going to trial, Chen replied. We have digital evidence, bank transfers, messages encouraging manipulation. She's been accused in a prior case in Arizona. This time, she won't walk away. Weeks passed. Parking, then came the sentencing. Vanessa was found guilty on multiple counts: fraud, conspiracy, real estate theft, and elder abuse. She received 5 years in prison. When the judge read the decision, she didn't cry, didn't argue. She simply stared at me across the room, expression cold, calculating, as though even there she was searching for a next move. Some people aren't broken, they are the storm. Marcus, before being taken away, requested to meet me. Brennan refused to let me go alone. We met in a small, empty room at the courthouse. He sat across from me, hands clasped, eyes red. For a moment, he looked like the boy I once taught to ride a bike. "Dad," his voice trembled. "I'm sorry," I said quietly. He nodded rapidly, tears falling now. "Yes, I know it doesn't fix anything, but I swear, I didn't mean to hurt you." Vanessa made it sound like I was helping. I was scared. Scared of you getting older. Scared of losing you. Scared of losing her. I stared at him, and my heart gave way to something heavy and sad. "Marcus," I whispered, "you didn't lose me because I'm getting old. You lost me because you stopped seeing who I am." He sobbed softly. "Will you ever forgive me?" I looked at him for a long moment. "I love you," I said, voice trembling. "I will always love you, but forgiveness doesn't erase consequences." He nodded, devastated. They took him away. After that, everything felt quiet. 8 months after I first woke up in that facility, I walked through my front door again. The house was empty, silent, echoing, walls bare, spaces stripped of the life they once held. Marcus had sold everything: furniture, photos, even the wooden toolbox I crafted by hand in 1979. Helen stood beside me. She reached out, squeezed my arm gently. "Still standing," she whispered. I nodded. "So am I." We spent weeks visiting thrift shops, estate sales, rebuilding, not replacing. The past was gone. I created something new, a survivor's home. Friends stopped by again. Companionship returned. Meals shared. Laughter found its way back slowly. Sometimes when I walk past the hallway, I still feel a ghost of what was taken. But I don't live in that space anymore. I live forward. People often asked if I regretted taking this to court. They said, "But he's your son. Family is everything." I used to believe that. Now I know this. Loving someone doesn't mean accepting harm, permission to wound you. Family is not defined by birth, but by how they hold you when life breaks. Marcus served his 2 years. He was released 6 months ago. He sent me a letter asking to meet. I haven't replied. Maybe I will one day. Maybe I won't. Windshield isn't rushed. My name is Richard Patterson. I'm a 76-year-old retired aerospace engineer. I'm the man who refused to drown quietly. Others tried to erase it. And if you're listening now, if someone is manipulating you, taking your voice, telling you that you're too old, too weak, too confused to fight. Listen to mine. You are not a burden. You still have power. And if they push you down, stand. You don't just survive. You rebuild. You reclaim. You thrive. What would you do if the person you trusted most became the one you needed protection from? Never let silence protect the wrong person. Your story matters, and it's never too late to write the ending yourself.